Welcome to 1,000 Hours in Scripture. My name is Dana, and this is day 59. Hey everyone! It has been a while, so I have not posted, I think in a week and a half now, maybe close to 2 weeks. So, I'm sorry for that. I don't actually know if anybody has noticed, but let's catch up a little bit. You might be thinking, wow, Dana, look at you. You're looking rough today. You're right. I never thought I would show up on the internet with dirty hair, no makeup, and you can't see it, but a very stained t-shirt. But that's just where we're at right now in life. So why have I been missing? Why do I look like I just rolled out of bed? I don't know, got in from a hard day's work, I guess. Answer. We've had an exciting week at our farm here, and it's just been sucking up all of our time. So the first video that I missed, which I think was a week ago today, I actually missed that one because my husband and I unexpectedly got to go have a date night out together. Now, we don't get those very often. We try to do like little date nights here at the house, but somebody volunteered, my parents actually volunteered to babysit our kids, and so we went out for the evening. So that was kind of unexpected, and it kind of shuffled our Saturday around a little bit, so I just didn't have time to film. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again probably more than once in this video. You know, this channel does not take precedence over my actual life. I have no, that's not the point of the channel, so I didn't do a video. And I really, as I mentioned before, do not like filming on Sundays, so I didn't even do a makeup video. So that's why I missed last Saturday's video. Now, this past Wednesday, we had an exciting event on the farm because we had a baby calf born. So I've mentioned we have land, we have, just a little farm situation going on. It's definitely a hobby. We are not career farmers. My husband and I both work full time, so we don't have a lot of time to devote to farming. But we do love it. We really enjoy it. And we do have a dairy cow, and she delivered her calf. We weren't quite sure when it was coming. It's a long story why I had the date. I had the dates very wrong about when we thought she would deliver, and that was on me. But she delivered Wednesday, so it has been a wild week dealing with that. So some of you may watch this and be like, well, I have cows. That's not a big deal. And for that, I am very grateful for you that you do not have to have a big deal when a cow is born. On our farm, it's a whole shenanigans and situation. We have, just for perspective, we'll chitty chat before we get to business, I guess. We've had our little farm now for a number of years, maybe, actually, I don't know how many, maybe 7 years? I don't remember when we moved here. 7 or 8 years. We've had this farm, and we've just slowly built it up over the years. We didn't go like full out. Like I said, we both work full time, and farming is outrageously expensive to do, and, it's just, yeah, it's a little bit at a time. So, over the years, we've slowly incorporated, chickens here, greenhouse there, little bits and pieces and building as we go. So about 4 or 5 years ago, we made the leap, I guess, to get a dairy cow. We actually got a couple of dairy cows, and our dairy cow path has been really hard. Truthfully, like, it's been a very big challenge. The first batch of cows we bought, so for background, we do not live in an area that is very dairy centric. Beef cattle is a huge thing where we are. Not dairy. We used to have a lot of dairy. We actually had a lot of commercial dairies in this area, but over the years, the dairies couldn't afford to be open anymore, and they've kind of all gotten shut. I think there might just be one left now. So there's just not a big dairy presence. So the first time we wanted to get dairy cows, we actually had to buy them from quite a distance. They were a good 2 hours away from us, and I wouldn't say we bought them sight unseen. I did quite a bit video call with the seller. It was just another small farm, and they had a little batch of Jersey cows. They had, I think, a calf, a steer, and then 2 female cows that they were selling as a group. And, we tried to do our due diligence. Unfortunately, that bit us in the butt big time. Again, we had to kind of buy sight unseen. We did our best with videos and pictures and talking to them, but we couldn't go in person just to go look at them and then have to go back up, and we had to hire someone to bring them down, and it was this whole thing. So long story short, those cows were in extremely poor health, and those videos were quite misleading as to the state of them. So that was really unfortunate. They were ill with a disease that's pretty bad on cows, and it's a very infectious disease. So we did get them diagnosed. Once they showed up, we immediately knew something was wrong, even though we were not experienced with dairy cows. We had been around beef cattle a fair amount by that point, so we knew immediately something was wrong. We got them tested, and we were proven correct. It was exactly what we thought it was. So we couldn't keep them. Thankfully, we had kept them quarantined into just a small side field on our farm. The disease that they had is, like I said, very infectious, and it actually can stay in the ground active for up to 2 years. So we essentially had to lose usage of that part of our farm for the next 2 years. So it was a huge impact. We ended up selling them. One of them unfortunately passed away before we could do anything, really. She was very, very ill. So we ended up having to sell them, and we were very open about it. I posted them very clearly that these were not healthy cows, and they would probably be best to be honestly just beefed out, eat them for beef. But you could always try to do something with them, I guess. So it was very clear, made it very abundantly clear that they were not in good health. Somebody did still buy them, but we took a huge financial loss on that, and it, like I said, really hampered the usage of our side pasture for several years. So that kind of burnt us pretty good. So with our second round of cows, we actually picked them up. We were on vacation one summer, and we were in kind of a dairy area. So we just thought, while we're here, why don't we look around? And we found a really good dairy. They did brown Swiss cows, which we love brown Swiss. It's just our preference. We like them. Jerseys are very stubborn. We like the brown Swiss ones. They're a good mix of stubborn, but not too mean. Not too mean, kind of nice. Very independent. So we ended up buying 2 heifers out of that dairy. Phenomenal. It was a great dairy, great operation. We would 100% go back to them. And we had those 2 cows for a while. We actually also ended up getting a bull calf from that dairy as a bottle baby, which is a calf you have to feed a bottle. And unfortunately, we lost the bottle calf. So that's not uncommon. Bottle calves they don't always thrive. It just really depends. So we did our best, but at the end, he just didn't make it, and we don't know why. Good to go, up and bouncing, and then unfortunately he'll go out one day and he'll just be gone. So that was really hard, and that was a hard hit. So then we finally managed to get our other 2 cows bred, and long story short on that one, we lost one of them last year. So she was bred back to an Angus, actually, and had a beautiful calf. His name was Chickpea, and then it looked like everything was fine. We were watching her very carefully, because, after birth, sometimes dairy cows can have complications, and she seemed great. Chickpea was great. And then I think it was about 11 days after birth, she was fine, and then she was dead 30 minutes later. And that was honestly not a good day on our farm. It was really hard. It's very hard even now to talk about it. We're very practical. You're on a farm. You're going to lose animals sometimes, but we had just been working so hard to watch and be cautious, and it didn't matter. She was gone. So we did not end up keeping the calf. He was a little bull, and we already had one steer from an earlier calving the year before, so we didn't really need another one right now. So we actually ended up just giving him away to somebody who had the ability to take him. So, a lot of times you can, if a cow loses a calf, you can get a bull calf from someone else, or, a different calf that's lost its mom, and kind of pair them up to take care of that need. So Chickpea got taken. So this brings us now to present, our one remaining milk cow. Her name is Aspen, and she's actually had one calf previously. His name was Butterbean, and we steered him out, and that was a pretty good process. She did really well the first time. So this was her second calf, and sometimes their complications are higher with their second calf. So we have been even more on edge than usual, watching and trying to preempt any issues popping up. So walked out Wednesday to check on her because we knew it was coming, and there was a calf. And it was a little girl. We have a little heifer, and we are so excited because we've had all bull calves up to now, which we don't keep on the farm because we don't want the liability of a bull, so we just steer them out for beef. But yeah, it's a little heifer, so we've been thrilled, but it has been a whirlwind because I am very paranoid about this cow and calf, and I check on them probably every hour because I'm just so nervous. Like, it's just been really hard with the dairy cows, and we've lost, some not through our own doing. Obviously, the first batch was not, that was just not us, that wasn't something we could have really prevented. We just unfortunately kind of got taken on that one, but to not know why we lost our other one last summer was really hard, and, to lose that bottle baby early on, artichoke, that was hard too, so, all that to say, I'm rambling, but all that to say, we have been so paranoid and watching this cow and this little heifer calf like hawks. Legitimately. So, we're also kind of trying to balance, how do we want to handle this? But because she's a heifer, we'll keep her and see if we can, if she'll make a good dairy cow in a couple years down the road. So that factors in, how much do we want to calf share versus milk, all that kind of thing. It's complicated. Nobody cares. I'm not going to bore you with it. But what that all means is that we've slept very little. I am covered in molasses water and cow spit and slobber and hay and every other manner of thing because we are spending so much time out there right now working with those two cows. So it's very exciting, and thankfully so far they're doing really well, but yeah, I didn't make a video Wednesday. I was way too tired. So yeah, I've already been out there this morning. I gave Aspen another bucket of molasses water just to keep her energy up. She's always so kind about that, and she usually ends up spitting quite a bit of it back out on me. You guys can't see, but my arms are covered in molasses. I mean, I did wash them, but it kind of stains. It's blackstrap, so anyway. So that's why I'm showing up on this video, looking kind of rough, guys, because, no, I haven't washed my hair today. I think it actually still has cow slobber somewhere in there, so that's a problem for this evening after we're done doing the evening round of milking. So, oh guys, we love farming. It is a ton of work, and we have so much to learn. We've not been doing it very long, and, we don't know what we're doing, guys. But we do love it, but it's a lot. There's a reason that most homesteaders choose to do goats instead of dairy cows. Yeah, there's a reason. We just do not like goat milk, so, and I do love the cows. They're a lot of fun. Aspen's kind of a standoffish cow. She's not like one of those lovey-dovey dairy cows. Like, she only tolerates us as much as she needs us. But I still love her. She's a good cow. So, anyway, that's where I've been and why I look like I've been hit by a truck. Because we've been busy, we were tired, we were sleep deprived, and I've been rolling around in cow stuff for 3 days now. So, I will say this week has been a huge joy, and it's been, I don't know, just such a week full of gratitude. So some people would probably make fun of this, and I think that's wrong, honestly, but I spend a lot of time praying for our animals, because it is our job. Again, we're not strangers to losing them. Things happen. It's a farm, and reality is you lose animals on farms. Sometimes just because it's time for them to go and it's old age, sometimes accidents, sometimes because you make a bad judgment call. And that's all really hard to deal with. But I pray for our animals all the time. And as soon as we realized that Aspen, which I pray for Aspen on a regular basis, just that she stays healthy, but as soon as we realized that the calving was coming, because you can usually tell about a week to 2 weeks in advance that it's coming, I started praying for her every single day, multiple times, during our family worship, whenever I was praying for that cow, that she would have a delivery with no complications. I even actually prayed for a heifer. I prayed to the Lord. I said, if it be in your will, if we could please have a heifer. Dairy cows are astronomically expensive, so obviously it would be way nicer if we could just have one as a calf born than have to go buy another $2,000 to $4,000 cow. So anyway, so I've prayed for that diligently for like 2 weeks. My kids have heard me, and lo and behold, she had that baby on her own. We weren't even there. I just walked out and it was in the field. Surprise. So she had no complications. Their highest risk for complications is within the first 48 to 72 hours. And we have passed that mark now. So she could still have issues. But the highest risk has now passed. And she seems to be thriving. The calf is thriving. They're all very healthy. And I have just been in such just awe, such a simple prayer. And so many people would probably dismiss that. Why would you pray for a cow? Because I wanted that cow to be safe and I want that calf to be safe. And the Lord has answered that prayer faithfully. He answered that the delivery was smooth. We even got a heifer that I prayed for. And she's made it through this window, though, kind of this high risk window of the first 72 hours with no issues. And the Lord answered every single one of those prayers. And I just can't tell you the gratitude that I have felt. And I have spent so much time in prayer this week, both asking for those things, but also just pouring out my gratefulness and my thanksgiving to God, because it matters, I don't know. Like I said, it's probably a small prayer to a lot of people, but for us here on this farm, it was a big one, and the Lord was so faithful to answer it, and He answered it in such a positive way, which sometimes we don't get. Sometimes we do get the no answer to our prayers. So, guys, listen to me. I'm rambling like nobody's business today. Mercy sakes alive. Goodness gracious. Well, let's get to it. I'm trying to make this video pretty quickly because, guys, you think my house has been clean since this cow's been born? Absolutely not. I have got so much housework to do and whatnot, and I gotta get ready for church tomorrow, so I'm trying to get this video done pretty quickly before we have to go do our evening milk situation, our evening milking, and our evening cow activities. So don't worry, it does get easier as the calf gets older. So, and I might talk a little bit more about that at the end of the video, but it won't be like this forever. It's just, you're kind of in the throes of it right now. And also, we don't always have her in milk, so, just because of how everything has shaken out, we don't always have a cow that's actively in milk. So when we do get one, it kind of resets our farm a little bit, and we have to get back into that routine of, doing the milking and all this stuff. So we'll get there. It'll be fine. We'll get there. Let's go ahead and look at our tracker. So with all the cow stuff, I did fall behind, unfortunately. Not terribly so, but I am behind where I was, and more than anything, I actually wasn't really tracking anything. So I told you guys, I have spent so much time in prayer this week, and I didn't track a minute of it. Didn't put 1 minute of it down, which is really disappointing. So I'll put the tracker up, and you'll see there's nothing logged from Wednesday to Saturday. And that isn't because I didn't do anything. I was just so tired, I didn't write it down. So I do still know I was behind. I did not meet the goal every day because we were just exhausted. There was so much going on. But I did do more than it looks like, but I didn't log it, so therefore it is what it is. So you will kind of see after Saturday, I mentioned in my last video, which I think was, on the 18th. I think it was on the 18th was my last video. I'd kind of been struggling a little bit, and I wasn't feeling super motivated, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking down at my paper. That's why I'm not looking at the camera. I was struggling with some motivation there, and that was still present a little bit. And then I kind of got back into the swing of it this week, Monday and Tuesday, and then promptly kind of went off rails again when we had the calf born on Wednesday. So we're not finishing out the month super strong, but it's okay. I don't know. I'm actually not going to say that. It's not okay. It's not where I want it to be. But it is what it is. It's reality. So we look at the positives, we learn from the negatives, and we move on. So let's just go ahead and we'll walk through it. I'm just, because of, the end of the month, this is going to kind of be my recap video for the end of the month. So we'll just go category by category with overall numbers. So for this month, the month of February, I spent a total of 6.9 hours in corporate worship. So that's pretty par for the course. Again, we did have one Sunday service canceled due to weather. So that's about what I expected to be. I will say my goal was to go to evening service this month, and we did not. We did not go to evening services, and that was a goal that I failed to meet. So I'll set the same goal for March, trying to get to at least 1 to 2 services. I actually have to do that in March because I'll be providing the music in one of the evenings. So So hopefully 2 services, evening services in March would be my goal. So for family worship, we spent 6.9 hours in family worship. So not bad. Again, there was some more mixed in there that I just didn't document, and we were just tired, and we did it. It was there. So a little bit more, but documented just under 7 hours. So personal prayer. This one is way lower than it actually was because, again, I have spent a lot of time in prayer this week. We ended at just over 3 hours, 3.15 hours of personal prayer. So overall, still an improvement for the month. You guys know in January, I really struggle with that prayer category, and it has been improving. So grateful for that. Bible study, pretty minimal here, just 2 hours, and that was the actual study that I went to. Unfortunately, I did not prep one lick for it this month, and I hate that. It's such a good study, and it's very thoughtful questions, and the book is really good. I don't have it with me to share again. It's on Proverbs. I did not get to it. So I did go to the study, but I did not have any additional, prep time outside of that. So Bible reading, I have spent 15 hours in the reading of scripture. Now I will say I am behind in my Bible reading. Quite a few days, actually. 3 days. I'm 3 days behind in Bible reading total. So I got behind a couple days and I was catching up, and then I got behind a couple days. So I've been reading like here and there, but it's not been the full day. And I do go back and read. Like, I don't just go like, oh, it's, day whatever, I'm going to read today's stuff. I go back and I catch up again. So like I'm reading more than 10 chapters a day to try and catch back up, and it'll probably take me a little bit of time to do that. So, but overall for the month, 15 hours. So I was pretty pleased with that. Casual reading, I just had an hour. Didn't do much casual reading at all this month. Sermon audio, though, I spent 27 and a half hours in sermon audio. And again, I really enjoy sermon audio. It's an easy way to learn and listen. And I'm almost, I don't know how many sermons I have left. I'm almost through that Revelation series that I started. I think I just have a handful left, honestly. I didn't count them. But I'd probably estimate maybe 6 to 10 sermons left. So I should be done with that series pretty soon here. So yeah, so 27 and a half hours in sermon audio. So let's look at the positives here. So overall, I spent a total of 62 and a half hours in the study of scripture this month. So that comes out to about 2.25 hours each day, which is honestly pretty good. It's way better than January was. The goal is 2 hours and 45 minutes a day. So I'm obviously below. If I'm going at, 2.23 hours a day, that's, lower, but, it's still over that 2 hour mark. In January, I was not. So that is a positive, and I was very grateful to see that consistency is building. Now, I'll also point out that the goal for this month was to be at 76 and a half hours. So the goal was 76 and a half. I went to 62 and a half. So I was under my goal by just about 14 hours, just a little less than 14 hours. And that's a huge improvement because in January, I was under my goal by 26 hours. So that was a huge increase. So a lot of progress. So I've been struggling because I have this mindset where I'm like, it's okay, you're behind. It's really not. I don't want to have that mindset. It's not okay to be behind. I want to be on target. I want to push myself. It's not okay to skip days. It's not okay to slack off. And even when you are tired, push, do it. So I'm trying not to, I'm sorry, I keep slapping my hands. That's probably in the microphone. Sorry. I'm trying to remember that, no, you just don't want to brush it off. But, at the same time, yes, things are, going to happen. And, this week, for example, we were so exhausted that, we were honestly struggling to even get through dinner awake. It's just been a lot happening. So, I'm trying to find a balance between not dismissing the fact that I'm under goal, but also not, falling into this oh, woe is me, I'm slacking off so terribly, because it's, there's a middle ground in there. And I'm finding that middle ground of, not happy with what I did, but also still grateful for the progress and acknowledging, that yes, the Lord is working on me and sanctifying me and making this process easier and, more second nature. So, yeah. So that was my tracker. I went through that really quickly, but You know, like I said, I'm trying to make this a quick video today. And yet here I am rambling more than ever. So, I know that today is technically the last day of the month, and this is already my kind of wrap-up video, but I'm going to go ahead and also go over the books of the Bible that I read this month, or I guess where I'm at with the books of the Bible I've read so far in my Bible study plan. I don't know. I did this last month. I have a list of all of the books of the Bible that I have now read through since the beginning of the year. I didn't get through any of them for the second time yet. If you remember, with my Bible reading plan, Proverbs and Acts, I just read continually over and over and over. And I didn't get through Acts a second time because I did fall behind. So I'll actually finish Acts up here in the next couple of days and kind of restart, and I'll probably get through it. You know, by the end of March, I will have gone through it 3 times. So that was kind of a bummer. But I'm going to real quickly just flash it up here. So far this year, since January 1st, I have read through the following books of the Bible 1 time. Matthew, Mark, Genesis, Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd Timothy, Titus, Philemon, James, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, Jude, Job, Ecclesiastes, Proverbs, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, and Acts. So, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 27 books of the Bible. So, and obviously some of those are really short, but they still count. So yeah, so that's where we're at, guys. That's the update to kind of finish up February. You know, and again, I'm hoping to kind of get in the swing of things again. I was really struggling with motivation there for a little bit, and I feel like I'm kind of over that hump. So now we're just kind of trying to get over the hump of getting kind of back in the routine of milking a cow every day. And once we can do that, then, you know, hopefully I'll be back on track. So I don't know if March is going to start off with quite the bang that February did, because if you remember February, I just really pushed out of the gate and was going. But we'll see. You know, I'm definitely going to push for it. So I was going to mention, I think that for now I might have to scale back the videos, and that's really hard for me to do. I very much enjoy doing these, and I never thought I would, but practically speaking, I don't think I can do 2 videos a week right now, quite frankly. I think that's going to be too much. So I think I'm going to scale back probably and just do 1 video each Saturday for a little bit and see how that goes. Again, you know, we'll get into the routine with the cow and it'll get easier, but, you know, right now we've just got so much going on, and you're kind of, like I said, resetting your schedule. For those who have never had a dairy cow, it's a lot of work. And we hand milk right now, so it's even more work than you could imagine. We are, I think, going to probably buy a milker this go around, just because at this point in our life, we need the efficiency of it. So I think we will buy a milker here shortly. But yeah, right now it's eating up a lot of time, and I don't know that I can really devote that time during the week, you know, when I get off work and then I'm trying to do a video and cows and dinner and kids, you know, it's not practical. So I think for now I'm going to have to pull back and just do a video on Saturdays, and hopefully, you know, I can go back to 2 a week. I really liked the accountability of that. It kept me from like slacking off and feeling like, oh, I can catch up by Saturday. You know, it kind of didn't give me time to slack off any, but, you know, I was telling my husband, as much as I have started enjoying these videos and doing them, they will never take precedence over our life. This is real life here. Like that's what matters. You know, that's why I'm showing up here today looking like I am, because, you know, I don't have time to go get prettified and, you know, do my hair and put on a full face of makeup when I have a lot of outside chores to be doing today and a lot of housework. So, you know, our life is still taking precedence. So yeah, so these videos I think are going to drop down to 1 a week for now. And then hopefully I can put them back up to 2 a week as we kind of get settled in. And, you know, once we get the calf weaned as well, that'll make it a lot easier. So we'll see. But yeah. So if you're thinking about getting a farm or land or homesteading, you should. It's very gratifying. But it's a lot of work, so be ready. We love it, though. It's hard work, but it's good work, so. Okay, guys, I have rambled on immensely in this video. This is not a short video at all. What have I been doing? Oh my goodness. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap us up for today. I do hope that you guys are having a great week. I hope that, you guys are, wherever you are enjoying some spring weather too. I know we have beautiful weather this weekend, so that makes it nice working on chores outside for sure. But yeah, I've missed kind of putting these out, so I'm looking forward to getting back into that routine, and I guess now I will see you in a week. So just remember, guys, in everything that you do, do it all to the glory of God. I'll see you next time.